Hello and welcome back to the Premier Injuries channel. We are in a festive mood, as you can see. I've got my Christmas jumper on. We've all still got our Movember moustaches because we're raising money for that during last month. But today we're talking about Manchester United. Are they good to own? They've got great fixtures, good players, but is it a bit of a risky punt? Just before we start with the kind of FPL analysis, it's always good to know what the injury situation is and maybe some analysis of minutes managed, because Ben, Cristiano Ronaldo, he is getting on a little bit. They say that he's got the body of a 20 or 25-year-old. So is he going to be rested over this period? Is it too risky to have him in your team, maybe just for that reason alone?
I think it's reasonable to assume that, given his age, is he 36 now? Is it reasonable to assume that he'll not be able to play back-to-back games in quick succession? Of course it is. And I think that will stand for the majority of players, particularly squads that have the strength and the depth and the options to be able to bring in and rotate without sort of losing a great deal. If you look at that attack, you couldn't play centrally. You're going to have Cavani back soon. You've got Rashford. You've got Martial. You can play Sanchez. Sancho has been going up there. You could even stick Bruno, Greenwood. It doesn't make sense to risk players unnecessarily. So, look, will Ronaldo start every game? I would bet my house on it. And minutes will be managed. But that's the same for most teams and most where they've got options. And United certainly have that at the top end of the pitch. There's a plethora of players that can adopt that central striking role.
And with their injury situation as well, is there any players that you think that people should be aware of, maybe need to be managed over this period? I mean, Wan-Bissaka's not been in this team for a while. Is that purely tactical reasons, or has he got an injury as well?
Yeah, that was an injury. That was a carryover from the draw with Chelsea. That was Callum Hudson-Odoi actually stood on his hand. Now, we didn't really know if there was a broken bone or heavy bruising. Obviously, he returned to the matchday squad, but Delort kept his place in the squad. Concerns heading into this period. I think Raphael Varane would be one. We know he suffered back-to-back muscle problems. He's still adapting to the rigors of the Premier League. So again, he might be a player that Ralph Rangnick looks and maybe manages between games, and you may see Harry Maguire, the skipper, starting the majority with Lindelof and maybe Varane being rotated. Luke Shaw as well. We know that he's been out with this second concussion, but we know that he's a player who has tended to pick up muscle problems as well. Alex Telles has come in and done a decent job. So, I think once Shaw is back in contention, there could be a little bit rotation up there. And like I say, higher up the pitch, definitely those four places up for grabs with those maybe 6 or 7 players interchanging without any problems. The two in the pivot six, Fred, McTominay and Matic, you're going to get 2 from 3. So again, don't be too surprised if there's, one of those players dropped out.
So Lynn, let's talk FPL. Let's talk about, are there United assets that you're interested in? Because they're fairly premium. I mean, is it worth it because they've got these great fixtures, or is it a false dawn?
I actually think that could be a good idea, because I own Sancho since 2 weeks back.
Yes, I remember.
Well, he's not been lucky yet. I feel he's been in good positions, and it looks like they will come. He will become good for me. Other than that, I think the defense could be something to look into, because, like you said, they've got a very nice fixture run and for a long time. So you've got De Gea. He could be amazing value, 5.0. We got Dalot. I think he's 4.4 or something. Could also be very good value if he managed to nail his spot. At the moment, it does look like it. So I would actually, if you don't own Ronaldo and if you can't get to him easily, I would look at Sancho or Rashford, and maybe, depending on what your defense looks like, either the goalkeeper or Dalot at the moment.
I mean, so with the kind of FPL transfers, then there's a few players that are kind of on the cusp of leaving people's teams, people considering getting them in. I mean, would you put the likes of Son behind, Fernandes or Sancho in your team? Would you rather have a Manchester United midfielder? Because there seems to be almost this transition period of Conte with Tottenham. We've got Ranić at Manchester United. Which team do you plumb for, and who comes out of your team as well, Lynn?
That's a very good question. For me personally, I feel Spurs have had a nice fixture run and not performed. So I don't feel I want to invest. I think Son will keep ticking on, and a bit like Rafinha, just getting those points here and there. Nothing major, but just ticking along. And that's why I would prefer United, because I think their ceiling will be higher. Even for Rashford, Sancho, Ronaldo, Bruno, of course, obviously Bruno. They could easily see double-digit returns in several game weeks, which I don't think Son will have. He will just have an assist or a goal here and there, but not the double digits.
I mean, this is the interesting situation as well with Son at Tottenham. I was very excited to see what he would do under Conte. Now he's being played in the 3-4-3 rather than the 3-5-2, so he's not really attacking as much as I liked. But then I was really excited to see what Sancho could do at Manchester United. It's only one game, but he was almost occupying a similar position to what Son was. He wasn't out wide. He was more kind of central in the pitch, again, almost like a link-up player. And the more kind of work was being done on the wings by the wing backs. And then in the centre, all the kind of balls were being played into Rashford and Ronaldo. So I almost thought he was in like a footballing limbo of, yes, he'll be part of the link-up play, creating chances, but is he going to be in the position to maximum opportunity that I want my fairly premium players to be in? So I do think it's an interesting situation. I'm not sure what's going to happen with who's going to be starting as well, because if Rashford's starting, he could be a good one. I think I'd prefer a pressing player in a Ranić system, just because, they'll create opportunities for himself. And so Ronaldo's amazing, but I'm not sure at the moment if he's worth that little bit extra. But I'm definitely open to a Manchester United asset, because I do have Son in my team. I've kind of had him for a little bit with not great performances, and I'm still not sold on him at the moment. Ben, what is your thoughts and feelings, though? Are you kind of attracted because Man United, they do have the caliber of player. They have played some nice football this season, but it's again almost like yesterday's chat with West Ham. This is a fixture-based kind of move.
Bruno's hanging on in my team by the skin of his fingernails. That goal against Arsenal, I was maybe hoping that was going to kickstart his season. Then the arrival of the new manager, I'm maybe tempted just to leave things as they are for a game or two. Listen, I watched the game on Sunday. I heard a lot of the commentary, and I heard about all this crap and rubbish about how great Ranić is and what he's done. And isn't it fantastic that United are pressing like this for the first time? The reality of the situation is he's had a handful of hours on the training pitches, very, very little input. So to suggest that he's come in like a messiah and changed anything, with a magic wand in this short amount of time is an absolute load of garbage. So I'll be waiting to see. I'll keep my powder dry, see how things, work out over the next maybe 2, 3, 4 game weeks. Look, I'm not overly bothered about buying into that United team. They all come at a price, a heavy price, and it earns Bruno a stay of execution. But will I be going elsewhere? Not for me.
Yeah, I think this one's very much in like what we used to call the almost ones to watch situation, because it's very difficult. The fixtures are so good, but I don't want to be suckered in, especially with expensive assets. And the other question is can you bring them in without taking a hit? Somebody like Jarrod Bowen, I can get out Ivan Toney, I can get in Jarrod Bowen because I've got 2 free transfers saved up. Whereas with somebody like Ronaldo, I've got Vardy in my team, but then I might have to sell maybe 2 or 3 other players to kind of move around the team. That's a -4 or -8 hit for somebody that hasn't been in exceptional form. I mean, I can't justify that at the moment. Any final words that you want to say on that, though, Lynn? I mean, would you take a hit to get in a Man United player for this good run?
I would do a -4 for Ronaldo, if I'm honest. I would consider that. And also, I want to talk about Rangnick and his style of play at Leipzig, because he was playing a 4-2-2, which he did with United now as well, which means Bruno and Sancho were playing in the number 10 role just behind Rashford and Ronaldo. So Rashford actually up top with Ronaldo, and that's how he likes to play. And if you think back at Leipzig, go back a couple of years, they were so good under Rangnick. Who was their best player and what position was he playing in?
What? Timo Werner? Is that the one you'd say, Ben?
Timo Werner. And who's playing that position now? Sancho. So, yeah, I think there's hope. I'm not sure I would say that about United, but yeah, I'm excited about this. I think Sancho could finally become good.
And so you would take that hit then to get Ronaldo in. Ben, you're very adverse to taking a hit, but I hope people will hit that subscribe button. Hope you like that little segue there, Ben. That's kind of like a dad joke level one, isn't it? I hope people hit that subscribe button and stay tuned to the channel, because we're doing lots of good analysis like this. We got one more video this week. It's almost like a little 12 presents towards Christmas or something, as the song goes. And yeah, just stay tuned to the channel. We don't want you to miss out, so hit the bell icon as well, and we will see you again very soon.